The following program is an opinion program. The opinions expressed by the hosts and guests of this program are not the opinions of the management, staff, and advertisers of this station. Please direct all criticism, concern, and adulation to the hosts of this program.
Welcome to the award-winning Guerrilla Politics. We won an Abby Award. We'll tell you about this one a little bit later. And this is my award, so we'll talk about it a little bit later. I'm Dale Jackson, radio talk show host. You can hear my radio show 7 to 11 a.m. Monday through Friday on WVNN in North Alabama. Dr. Burke, my co-host, is with me. He is a doctor of political science at Calhoun Community College. We got a great show for you today. Mary Scott Hunter, an Alabama the school board member and a candidate for state senate, will be with us. Dr. Burke continues to obsess about Richard Nixon, and I've got a parting shot for you about the Second Amendment and what's really going on. So don't miss any of that. But right now, don't forget you can go to yellowhammernews.com and sign up for my email blast, the 7 things you should be talking about today. Every single day, Monday through Friday, you'll get an email that tells you the 7 things you should be talking about today. So go check that out at yellowhammernews.com. But right now, let's get to the 2-minute warning. Lots of drama in the final days of the Alabama legislature. We'll get to that here in just a quick second. But if you wanted to be in the Alabama legislature, you have to run for election. How about a special election while the legislature is in session? You win, but you can't even vote because you haven't been certified. That's what happened in North Alabama. But there is a lesson here in that election. And that lesson is Republicans are screwed. The red wave is non-existent. The blue wave is big. And here's what the math says. In between the 2014 election and this election where Rex Reynolds beat Terry Jones in North Alabama, 20% of Republicans showed up. 50% of Democrats showed up. Now, the Republicans still won, but the Democrats almost eked it out. Dr. Burke, is there a lesson here in this District 21 race held by the former late, great Jim Patterson?
Well, the fact is that the race was very close. I believe it was, what, a 2-point
this
difference?
Time, but it was like a huge gap last time.
And both of these are good men, let me tell you. They both have excellent reputations in this community. And as I heard one resident of that district to say, we win either way. But the fact is that in Alabama, I expect Republicans to do very well. I don't expect the blue wave to consume Alabama as it has some other places. Mm-hmm. But the fact is, I think the Democrats are narrowing the margins even in places where they are losing. Where they can sustain that or not is another issue.
Oh, I think the energy is on the Democrat side. I mean, obviously it is. It is clearly there. They're mad about the president. The media has just ginned them up into this part.
Along with a lot of Republicans.
Republicans are kind of beat up and they're kind of lethargic. And I think that's what the message here is. Now, once everything's going in the next election and everyone's all ginned up, we might be having a bit of a different conversation here. But there's a message here, and the message is the Republicans are in trouble. True or false?
Well, I think that they have a tougher hill to climb, yes.
Okay, very well. Way to not say anything. All right, let's continue. In the Alabama legislature, there was a bill that some people would argue we didn't even need. In fact, that was argued on the floor of the Alabama State Senate this week, and it was argued on the floor of the Alabama State House. A bill that offers a carve-out from ethics laws from people who want to come into the state and do economic development. They don't have to register as a lobbyist and all these other things that could possibly happen. Again, nobody said we needed this bill. Nobody. Toyota's coming. Moss is coming. Remington's here. We have had a flurry of economic development over the last couple of years. Why now, Dr. Burke? Do developers need this special carve-out? Who was asking for this thing?
Well, some of the critics of this legislation say it's a way to try to vindicate Mike Hubbard, that he theoretically could actually be absolved from some of the charges that he was convicted of.
I don't think the law works that way. Maybe theoretically he would be absolved in spirit, I guess. I don't know.
Well, theoretically, he could perhaps win on an appeal that
they changed the law?
Right, that they changed the law. I mean, he's argued all along that the laws he supported were unconstitutional.
The ones he put in?
Yeah, the ones he put into effect. Okay. And, of course, disingenuous, but he's still a convicted felon, but he hasn't gone to jail yet.
So is it your argument they don't need these carve-outs?
I've questioned them myself.
Yeah,
I questioned them myself.
But
like you said, it did not stop some of the biggest entities in this country from relocating.
No, look, and most people don't know this, the number 3 retail space in the entire country right now is going in Alabama. There are a lot of things that are happening here with retail development and manufacturing development and all these other things. There are states that are envious of us.
Oh, yeah,
because
definitely.
Of this.
As a matter of fact, there was a representative in California that said California needs to be more like Alabama.
I believe there are only 3 states currently that have a law like this. Only 3. I think we would become either the 3rd or the 4th to do so. Excuse those numbers, but that's close. And the reality is, I don't think we needed this thing. So it seemed like a bit much. Moving on, something else that the state of Alabama didn't need and did not pass, the racial profiling bill. Now, this bill would have done a couple of things. It would have required every single traffic stop in the state of Alabama indicate which race was stopped. Now, when you write a ticket, that shows up and things like this. They wanted to know every single stop. Then they wanted that data sent down to the Attorney General, and he was supposed to act and do something. There was a little bit of a dust-up over what exactly that would mean. Now, here's what was going to actually happen. They were going to get the numbers, and much like most interactions with law enforcement, it was going to be over-prominently African-American. Disproportionately is the word I'm looking for. Disproportionately African-American. And then we were going to say, wow, look, Alabama is still racist. Other than that, Dr. Burke, what was this going to accomplish?
Well, you know, when you use the term racial profiling, at least in our current understanding of this term, it's used pejoratively to punish people of color. And I'm certainly opposed to racial profiling in that context, as I believe you are.
But that's not the context here. It's not like, yay, racial profiling on one side and stop racial.
Do other states do this? I'm not sure.
Right.
And I would want to know more about it before I actually weighed in on it heavily. But, you know, I would assume that when I see a blue light behind me, and I've seen a couple in my life, I'm not sure they knew I was a man, a woman, black, or white. Well, I mean, I'd probably break in the speed limit or whatever.
The problem with this,
it would seem irrelevant in that situation.
You would think so, but the problem is the way the numbers would have come out. We have heavy police presence in areas where there are crime. Those areas are disproportionately African American. Therefore, the numbers will be that way, and it will get used as a weapon against the state of Alabama. And I'm telling you, the legislators who killed this, they're being called every name in the book, but I think it was a smart thing for the state of Alabama across the board.
I have a feeling we'll see it again.
Okay, I have a feeling we'll probably see it again as well, but they would be nuts to pass something like this. Moving back to the federal government, how about a citizenship question? It doesn't really seem all that controversial to me. And everyone who's saying that the census in 2020 that will take place will be all screwed up because they're going to ask immigrants, are you here, or are you an immigrant, or are you not an immigrant? And this would keep illegals from filling out the form, and then we'd get a skewed number. States like California and New York, other places with high levels of illegal immigrants who would then lose representation, and citizens would gain representation. Dr. Burke, if that's what the outcome of this is, that sounds like a feature, not a bug. More representation for actual citizens, illegals afraid to fill out government forms. I think this sounds like a feature.
Here's the criticism of it. One, many are saying that it's designed to actually discourage people who may not have papers to be here.
Can I stop you right there?
From registering.
Hold on. Let me stop you there. Good. Okay, go ahead.
And these people actually pay taxes in the communities that they live in.
Tough.
And the reason for the census is to count who is here, regardless of who they are, to have an honest count. And if this causes us to have a less than honest count, I don't think it's good.
Okay, well, let me ask this question. The representatives in Washington, D.C., who are they supposed to represent?
Well, they represent the citizens, but even non-citizens have constitutional rights.
Well, that's fine. Forget about that. I didn't ask that question. They represent the citizens. And if non-citizens are participating in this, they are skewing the representation numbers away from citizens.
The fact is that children aren't voting citizens either.
Dr. Burke,
and they are represented.
Stop. That is ridiculous.
I think that the honest thing to do is to count everyone. Now, if you're talking about immigration,
can still be counted.
That is a whole separate argument.
They are choosing not to participate in this. They can still do it. There's no penalty for saying you're illegal.
This is a way of punishing blue states. That's all it is.
Dr. Burke arguing here
That's all it is, Dan.
Arguing here on Guerrilla Politics for California.
The vote.
Dr. Burke for California. Stay tuned. All right, let's get back to the Second Amendment. This is under attack. I'm going to give Dr. Burke an opportunity to weigh in here on this before I get too far into this. But is the Second Amendment under attack in your opinion?
Well, it's always been somewhat controversial. We've always had gun control. This is another issue. Now, I own guns, and I don't want guns taken away. I read an interesting statistic in the Boston Globe that I found sort of baffling last week. It said that 78% of American adults do not own guns.
Sure, I believe that.
And 3% of the people in this country own over half the guns.
Okay.
I don't know if they're building an arsenal or whatever. But I do believe that people do have a right to own weapons. I have been consistent in saying that crazy people should not own weapons.
That's not the question.
There should be a way to keep mentally disturbed people and criminals from having weapons.
I'm going to take
that is reasonable.
This is what I took from what you said. You have guns. Crazy people shouldn't have guns. Therefore, you should not have guns. But that's not the question. The actual
Well, I can say the same for you.
The actual question on the table is it under assault? Because that is what it looks like, because you've got these kids screaming about taking away, people cheering, doing away with the Second Amendment. Hold on. You've got politicians in California talking about doing away with it, the Oregon legislature talking about doing away with it. You've got media outlets talking about doing away with it. There was an ad in the New York Times that said, it's the end. It's the end.
Well, I think that's overstated.
Hold on. And I thought the ad was going to click to a story that said, it's the time for the end of the Second Amendment. It was just an ad trying to get people to sign up for the New York Times. So I think it's under attack. Do you?
I don't think it's in danger. We're not going to do away with the Second Amendment.
Question.
I do not believe it. But I will say
attacks
this.
our troops. The country's not in danger. Is it under attack?
The critics of it are irritated that nothing has been done in many, many years. I mean, since Sandy Hook, you would think that something would be done. There are reasonable things that can happen that can prevent tragedies like this.
Okay, you overtalked my overtalking, so I'm going to ask you the question again. We say that Al-Qaeda attacks America, correct? But that doesn't mean America is going to fall. Therefore, is the Second Amendment under attack right now?
Totally absurd, Dale. Totally absurd.
Non-answer?
No, that is an answer. You just tried to build it up for something it's not.
There we go.
That's my friend Dale.
There you go. Dr. Waymon Burke. That's why we win awards or something. Coming up next, Mary Scott Hunter will be with us. She's on the Alabama Board of Education. She's running for state senate. Stay tuned. Hey folks, Dale Jackson here for my good friends at University Kia. I've been driving a University Kia vehicle for years, multiple vehicles. I've put hundreds of thousands of miles on vehicles from University Kia, and I highly recommend that you go see my friends down there. Go see Calvin, go see Arthur, go see Dave Brady, and you're going to find the perfect vehicle for your family. A car, an SUV, or my brand new vehicle, a Kia Soul. You're going to find exactly what you're looking for at University Kia. Check them out online at universitykia.com. And when you talk to my friends at University Kia, tell them Dale Jackson sent you.
Want fun, safe, intelligent fitness programming? Want to build muscular strength, cardiovascular endurance, drastically improved range of motion and mobility, and learn proper nutrition to fuel your life with energy and emotional health? Well, come find out why Iron Tribe Fitness is ranked one of the top 5 fitness programs in America. Come find out why personal training and intentionally working on your current movement patterns individually is not only important, it's just another core value that separates Iron Tribe Fitness from other fitness facilities.
To learn how to get your 2-week free pass, go to irontribefitness.com.
Oh, the land of the free and the home of the brave.
RVing, still an American pastime.
Hey folks, Dale Jackson here for my good friend Matt Curtis and the Matt Curtis Real Estate Team. Myself, my mother, my brother, my aunt, and my uncle have all used Matt Curtis and the Matt Curtis Real Estate Team. They sell a house every 14 hours. And you may be hearing other realtors say similar things. That's fake news, folks. Matt Curtis and the Matt Curtis Real Estate Team, the #1 reviewed team in all of the state of Alabama. Go learn more at mattcurtisrealestate.com. And when you talk to my good friend Matt Curtis today, make sure you tell him Dale Jackson sent you.
At Premier Dental, you'll always be welcome with a big smile and a friendly professional team. Our services include everything from children's dentistry to dentures and everything in between, including cosmetic dentistry, Invisalign, implants, and much more. We accept most insurances, offer bilingual services, and even offer in-house financing. So call us at 256-469-6428 or visit premierdental.org. We're looking forward to seeing your smile soon.
RVing, still an American pastime.
Waymon Burke here for Russ Russell Commercial Real Estate Company. Russ Russell Commercial Real Estate is Huntsville's premier real estate company. If you need raw property for development, if you need office space, if you need retail space, you need to contact Russ Russell. Russ is a native Huntsvillian. He knows us, he knows our people, he knows business. 536-7777. 536-7777. RussRussell.com.
Hey folks, Dale Jackson here for my friends at MaidPro. With me today is Cindy and my dogs Savage and Sarge.
As you can tell, these dogs are a handful, and if it weren't for MaidPro, I wouldn't put up with any of them.
That's absolutely true, folks. MaidPro comes once a week to my house, and they keep it clean, they keep my marriage happy, and they keep these dogs happy as well. Call them today, 256-585-6628. Check them out online at maidpro.com. And when you talk to MaidPro, make sure you tell them Dale Jackson sent you. Welcome back to Guerrilla Politics. I'm Dale Jackson. With me, as always, my co-host, Dr. Burke, the award-winning Dr. Burke is here with us. And also, Mary Scott Hunter is here. She's on the Alabama Board of Education, and she is running for State Senate District 7. So let's get into some questions for her. First, the hot-button issue right now is one that faces both the school board and I think it faces the Alabama legislature. So if you become a state senator, it's obviously going to come up in the next go-around. Allowing teachers to carry. Mm-hmm. Now, this bill, I think, is the most controversial thing happening. I think Republicans really got a gift by Democrats fighting this the way it is. So in the general election, I think this will become a main thing. Where do you stand on this? You were obviously in the military. Mm-hmm. We can talk about a legislator saying that women shouldn't carry guns and things like that, or scared of guns. We can do that if we want. But where do you stand on the overall issue? Should teachers be able to carry in Alabama schools?
Well, I've carried a weapon for my job when I was in the Air Force, and certainly it can be done safely, but there's a lot of wickets that have to be passed through, Dale. As you know, there would have to be a requirement for volunteers, and those volunteers would have to be trained and vetted, and there would have to be a commitment to annual training. Right. I mean, you're talking basically deputizing.
Yes, that's exactly what it is. APO certified, they have to go through the same training.
Right.
Nobody was talking about like, hey, here's your math book. Here's a handgun.
And that was not true, and that was how it was presented, and that wasn't true. So yes, I think there are wickets that could be gone through. There's a process that could be undertaken where it could be done safely, but it's obviously very controversial, and it shouldn't be undertaken in the absence of all the other things that we could do: architectural techniques, training, non-lethal weapons such as tasers and pepper spray.
Staying on the school stuff, and we'll get into the campaign stuff in a second. The state superintendent made a pretty good point. Now, just a heads up, Bentley, many years ago, a few years ago, said the school systems suck. That's what he said, took a lot of heat for it. Maybe his words weren't correct. The new superintendent, the interim superintendent, Richardson, said, look, we're graduating 87%, I believe it was, but only 66% are actually ready for college, a 21-point gap. Is he right? The numbers are right. Is he right in his overall assessment that there's a huge problem here?
Well, he's absolutely right. And what we need to do is close that gap. It's a quality-quantity issue. We are graduating the right number of graduates, but they need to be better quality. We need to prepare them for college or career, and that's what he's talking about. Because if we're not, then people aren't going to trust that rate is correct. So, yes, that gap needs to close, but it didn't come about overnight, and it's not going to be fixed overnight. Right. So it's been you know me, I've been talking about quality of education for as long as I've been in office. So yes, I certainly believe that he's pressing for the right things, and I think that fight is going to go on even past now.
Let's shift to the campaign.
Okay.
You, of course, have a Republican opponent, Mr. Gavan, and you have a Democratic opponent. I don't know your Democrat opponent.
This should tell you everything you do need to know. But
what differentiates yourself in this Republican primary from your opponent?
Well, I think that first of all, it's experience. I've been down there. I'm not an insider, as it were. I would probably say that some of my opponents have more the line on that. But I've been down there doing the state board work, and when you're there, you get some experience. You get to work with the legislature. I've worked on our state's largest budget. I understand what makes our state tick and what we need, and certainly education is a huge piece, and I will not be leaving that behind. I will continue that work as well as adding in the other elements of our economic success: our hospitals, our health care, our infrastructure. These are all important things that I also want to work on in addition to education moving forward.
Do you have any scheduled debates with Mr. Gavan?
I do not have any scheduled debates yet. Those are not been organized, have not been organized as far as I know. We have appeared together at several events, and they wouldn't be called debates as so much as forums, but we've answered questions at the same time, and we've done that sort of thing, and I'm sure that will continue.
Did the state need an economic developer exemption bill for ethics? Did we need that? We got it.
We got it.
Who was asking for this? Was anyone asking for it?
That's an interesting question. It was a pretty controversial thing, and there was quite a bit of dust up over it because the economic development world felt like they needed it because they're doing things that could potentially get them in trouble, and they didn't feel like that was warranted. On the other hand, our Tom Scobles of the world, who are government watchdogs and do a wonderful job for us making sure that our state remains honest, have a point in that. Why should they be exempted? So. Tough bill.
We don't even need it. I would argue we didn't even need it. I mean, it seems like we've done a good job and we've had a couple problems, but good. Well, let's deal with those problems as they are. Lastly, your experience on the school board, how does that transition over if you become a state senator?
Well, when you deal with the state's largest budget and when you deal with legislation like I have, I've shepherded legislation, I've championed legislation, I've gone before the legislature. These are things that you can't. This is experience that is really good for what I'm taking on.
Mary Scott Hunter, thank you very much for joining us here on Guerrilla Politics. We appreciate it. Hey folks, Dale Jackson here for my good friend Matt Curtis and the Matt Curtis Real Estate Team. Myself, my mother, my brother, my aunt, and my uncle have all used Matt Curtis and the Matt Curtis Real Estate Team. They sell a house every 14 hours, and you may be hearing other realtors say similar things. That's fake news, folks. Matt Curtis and the Matt Curtis Real Estate Team, the #1 reviewed team in all of the state of Alabama. Go learn more at mattcurtisrealestate.com. And when you talk to my good friend Matt Curtis today, make sure you tell him Dale Jackson sent you.
RVing, still an American pastime.
At Premier Dental, you'll always be welcome with a big smile and a friendly professional team. Our services include everything from children's dentistry to dentures and everything in between, including cosmetic dentistry, Invisalign, implants, and much more. We accept most insurances, offer bilingual services, and even offer in-house financing. So call us at 256-469-6428 or visit premierdental.org. We're looking forward to seeing your smile soon.
Hey folks, Dale Jackson here for my friends at University Kia. And it's not just University Kia, it's Kias all over the world. I've been driving a Kia for almost 20 years. I love these vehicles because of a couple reasons. 1, they're dependable. 2, great cost. And 3, an amazing warranty. 10-year, 100,000-mile warranty at University Kia. Go see Calvin. Go see Arthur. Go see David Brady and all the fellows over there at University Kia. Check them out online at universitykia.com. And when you do, tell them Dale Jackson sent you.
Want fun, safe, intelligent fitness programming? Want to build muscular strength, cardiovascular endurance, drastically improved range of motion and mobility, and learn proper nutrition to fuel your life with energy and emotional health? Well, come find out why Iron Tribe Fitness is ranked one of the top 5 fitness programs in America. Come find out why personal training and intentionally working on your current movement patterns individually is not only important, it's just another core value that separates Iron Tribe Fitness from other fitness facilities.
To learn how to get your 2-week free pass, go to irontribefitness.com.
Hey folks, Dale Jackson here for my friends at MadePro. With me today is Cindy and my dogs Savage and Sarge.
As you can tell, these dogs are a handful, and if it weren't for MadePro, I wouldn't put up with any of them.
That's absolutely true, folks. MadePro comes once a week to my house, and they keep it clean. They keep my marriage happy, and they keep these dogs happy as well. Call them today, 256-585-6628. Check them out online at madepro.com. And when you talk to MadePro, make sure you tell them Dale Jackson sent you.
RVing, still an American pastime.
Hey folks, Dale Jackson here for my good friends at Rocket City Property Management. I'm a busy guy. I've got a TV show, I got a radio show, and I write for YellowHammerNews.com. I don't have time to manage my rental property. That's where Rocket City Property Management comes in. They handle everything. They collect the rent. They find the renter. They do every single thing I need them to do, and I don't have to worry about it at all. Go to RocketCityPropertyManagement.com today and learn more. They'll manage your property for you. And when you talk to my friends at Rocket City Property Management, tell them Dale Jackson sent you. Welcome back to Guerrilla Politics. I'm Dale Jackson. With me, as always, my co-host, Dr. Waymon Burke. And now you might see this award here. We'll talk about this here in just a quick second because we're wrapping up the program here today. Dr. Burke continues to obsess about Richard Nixon, so he's got a history lesson that references that. And I've got a party shot for all you folks who still aren't quite convinced about this Second Amendment conversation. Stay tuned for that. Dr. Burke, take it away.
Dale, the most famous and probably most controversial pardon in American history was in 1974 when President Gerald Ford pardoned President Nixon. There was much criticism of it at the time, but actually even opponents to Nixon have come to believe that it was a courageous thing for him to do. So let's watch that one more time. Roll it.
Therefore, I, Gerald R. Ford, President of the United States, pursuant to the pardon power conferred upon me by Article 2, Section 2 of the Constitution, have granted, and by these presents do grant, a full, free, and absolute pardon unto Richard Nixon for all offenses against the United States which he, Richard Nixon, has committed or may have committed or taken part in during the period from July 20, 1969 through August 9, 1974.
Dale, President Nixon actually resigned in 1974, and in 1975, of course, President Ford pardoned him. Even Ted Kennedy, one of his harshest critics at the time, came to say that it was probably best for the country to not put the country through another terrible situation like trying a president for a crime.
Now, we didn't talk about any of this Trump stuff this week. We didn't get into any of this stuff. So you're bringing this up because of the Michael Flynn Manafort thing? Is that the gist?
I'm bringing it up because, of course, President Trump has again been talking about possibly pardoning some people.
Reportedly. All right.
So we'll see. You never know what's happening up there.
Isn't it great that we can just keep seeing and saying whatever we want? It's amazing. Let's go ahead and get to the parting shot. My party shot this week is directed at everyone who continues to tell us, and we talked about it a little earlier in the program, that there is no challenge to the Second Amendment, that nobody wants to repeal the Second Amendment. And yes, we already hit on this a little bit, but I want to remind you of a couple of numbers as we close out the program here to date. 82%. There was a recent poll done, and 82% of Democrats said that they would ban semi-automatic weapons. Now, that is essentially a ban on firearms in the United States unless you have a shotgun, a single-shot rifle, or a revolver. So just keep in mind, this is exactly what they want to do. While we're pretending that it's not quite the case, there are large numbers of Democrats that want to effectively do this. So just keep that in mind as we move forward and follow this conversation. Thank you very much to everybody watching Guerrilla Politics. Don't forget, you can go to yellowhammernews.com and sign up for my email blast. You can do that every single day, Monday through Friday. And don't forget about this award right here. We were the best in broadcasting local programming, best program. All right, here, I want to thank everybody at Way 31 for all they've done here up here in North Alabama, helping us out. They've done an amazing job in all of our stations in Birmingham and Mobile and Huntsville. Thank you very much for carrying us as well. We always appreciate it. Without you guys, especially the folks out there listening, all of this would be for nothing. I know I'm the star, and this is Dr. Burke, the little star here, and that's fine. But thank you very much for watching Guerrilla Politics. We'll be back next week.